Looks pretty good too. Man, nice bass. Come here, buddy. Man, real nice bass. As you can see, I'm fishing a pond today. This is my second cast. Man, good one. It's the fall. A lot of the weeds are dying off. Man, good looking bass there. I'm throwing a Super Fluke. I'll show you how I have it rigged up here in a second. But just working along these shorelines, man, real good looking bass. Man, sinking here. Working along these shorelines, and whether you're fishing spring, summer, fall, usually along the shorelines when you're fishing ponds is really productive. And today I'm throwing a Super Fluke. Super Fluke, I think it's a Super Fluke Junior, I'll have to check on the package. But I actually have it rigged on a swim bait hook. You can see here, not a very heavy weight swim bait hook, but I have it rigged on a swim bait hook. Second cast, nice bass. Real lightweight swim bait hook, and I'm just actually working this along, twitching it, letting it fall, twitching it, letting it fall. I think it's a 1/8 ounce weight on here. Real effective lure, imitates a minnow. See if I can catch a few more bass here. There we go. Man, he hit that pretty close to that shoreline. Another good bass. And since this water, the pond that I'm fishing, the water's really dark right now. Hardly any weed growth. A lot of times these darker colored ponds, darker water, a lot of these bass will follow the bait up right up to the shoreline, pretty close to the shoreline, and hit it. So make sure as you work that bait back, especially a fluke when you're just twitching it, letting it pause, try to work that bait all the way back to the shoreline. Sometimes you'll actually see them hit the lure. It's just a real effective way to catch some bass in ponds. Another good one. There's one right here. Another one. Real close to the shore on that fluke. Man, this Super Fluke works really well. Let me get this fish up here so you can see it. Another nice bass. Not real fat, but a good one. Now you can see this rig works. A lot of people fish the Super Flukes weightless, especially when they're fishing shallower. But I like this little swim bait hook with a 1/8 ounce weight on it. It works really well. And sometimes I think that a little faster fall, it's still a slow drop, but by letting it be able to fall a couple feet after a twitch, I think that helps get down there where a lot of those bass want to feed. When you fish it weightless, sometimes it sits so close to the surface that the bass really have to be aggressive to hit it. With a little weight on there, it drops a little bit farther down. When you're fishing, 3, 4, 5 feet of water along these shorelines, sometimes they'll hit this bait as it drops to the bottom. So if you use this technique weightless, that works, but go ahead and try using a swim bait hook, especially when fishing ponds. Works really, really well. And the last 2 hits I had were pretty close to the shoreline. They hit it as it dropped, either on the bottom or right near the bottom. And a lot of times when bass are pretty active, it's early fall. I don't have a water temperature gauge out here to test it, but I bet water temperatures are still in the low 70s, maybe upper 60s. So these bass are still pretty active. With this heavier weight, I can work this bait a lot faster than I would if I was fishing it weightless. Fishing it weightless, I'd have to let it sit and pause for a little bit longer. Oh, there's another one. Good bass. Another good bass. Another one. All about the same size. Man, good looking bass. You might be wondering why I'm using pink. The only reason why I'm using a pink fluke today, Super Fluke, is because when I was at the store, I let my 3-year-old daughter pick out the color. She went with pink. Just give you one more look at this lure here. Here it is, Super Fluke in pink. Swim bait hook. Works really well for ponds. Heck, works really well anywhere, but a great pond fishing lure.